Install and set up Virtualbox on Linux Mint 19.1 for Linux newbies, part 1. This is my Linux system we're looking at here at the moment, and this is my Virtualbox software running. This is Windows XP running on top of my Linux system in a virtual machine. That's it full screen. As you can see, it just looks like it's actually installed on the computer proper, and it works pretty much like XP works. Who doesn't love XP? This is Windows 10 starting up in a virtual machine on top of my Linux system. This is logging into Windows 10 virtual machine on top of my Linux system. As we can see, it just looks like a normal Windows 10 installation. Once again, here's my Linux system, and here's the Windows 10 machine running on the Linux system. And there's Windows 10 in full screen mode. And we'll just shut it down. And back to my Linux system. So why would you want to do this? Well, it allows you to run another operating system within your main operating system, similar to the way you run, say, Microsoft Office on top of your Windows PC or within your Windows computer. However, it is another complete operating system running on your Windows or Mac or Linux system, just like any other program. You could run a Linux VM on your Windows machine or your Mac machine. You could run Windows on your Linux system, Linux on your Windows system, Linux on Linux, and so on and so forth. So it's pretty flexible as far as that goes. Confused? Yeah, you'll get the hang of it. Why would you want to do this? Perhaps you want to evaluate and test new Linux distros out, or other operating systems, or trying software without messing up your main system. You can use it for sandboxing or isolating, creating a little bit more privacy and security on the web, for example. If you're not sure about a website you want to visit, or you want to use the Tor browser and find it a little hard to install, you can run a Linux distro that has Tor already installed in it and access Tor that way. Maybe you're running old software or Windows software. You can run that in a Windows VM on your Linux system, for example, or your Mac system. So it gives you access to more software. And there's many other reasons why you might want to do it. You might have your own reasons. That's just some that I could think of. Another one is just because it's good, plain old good fun. To do this, you'll need a couple of things. You'll need a reasonable computer and some software. As far as the hardware goes, you probably at a minimum want a dual-core CPU with 4 gigs of RAM. I've run it on my old dual-core with 4 gigs. It did run. It was pretty lame, pretty slow, but it got the job done and allowed me to test new Linux distros out, that sort of thing. But anything above that, this machine here that we're looking at has got 4 cores and 16 gigs of RAM, and it pretty much runs any VM I can throw at it. I usually allocate the VM about half of the system resources, and that leaves half for the host and half for the virtual machine. And yeah, they both run fine. So if you've got anything equal to that or above that, you'll have no problems at all. Even below that, down to that sort of minimum that I was suggesting there, you'll be pretty right. You may need to have virtualization technologies in your BIOS or UEFI if you have that, and or your CPU. I reset my BIOS back to, or my UEFI actually, back to factory defaults for some reason. Forgot to re-enable the virtualization, and then went to run my VMs a couple of days later and they wouldn't run until I re-enabled it. So that may be a limiting factor for some people. You'll also need to install Virtualbox on your current system. And let's do that now. Because I already have Virtualbox installed and I've set it up and configured it, looks quite a bit different. What I'm going to do is just install it into, this is a Linux Mint 19.1 virtual machine. I'll take it out to full screen. And I'll go through the steps of installing Virtualbox onto this Linux system, this virtual system, and then we'll just set up a dummy machine quickly. And once we've done that, I'll go back to my machine proper and show you a little bit more in depth about it. But if you were to follow along with these steps here, it should get you up and running and allow you to create a virtual machine and run it on your system straight away. So we're just going to go to the software manager, and there's Virtualbox there on the front page, and that will work. However, you might not get that option on your system there. So what I'm going to do is just search for Virtualbox and just show you a couple of the little things that I come across when I did this earlier. This is the one we want up the top here, and I have done this a few times before in testing and whatever, and for whatever reason it kept bringing this second one up that says Virtualbox base, and it looks like it gave me the impression that was the base, you know, the base of the system, shall we say. And I installed that and it didn't work until I installed this top one here. So it says x86 virtualization solution, Qt based user interface. Now this might be different on other Linux distros, but obviously we're on a Linux Mint 19.1 system here, and this is what we're seeing here. So yeah, it could be different if you're on a different Linux version, but we'll just run through this anyway. We'll hit the install button. It wants some extra software, so we'll continue with that. Put in the password for the virtual machine. Once this is installed, at least on the virtual machine here, I have to log out and log back in before it shows up in the menu. You may or may not have to do the same on your physical machine, but you'll see when we get to that step that I'll show you that it's not in the menu until I log back in. And as I say, that may or may not happen to you if you're installing this onto your actual hardware or your hardware operating system. As we can see, it's installed because we've got the option to remove it. So at this point, we'll just close the software manager. And if we go to the menu, all applications and system tools is normally where it resides. It's not there. So what we're going to do is just log out and log back in again. And if we look in the menu now, under System Tools, there's Virtualbox. So we'll click on that and bring it up. And this is what it's going to look like when you first run it. I'm going to go through the steps of just creating the first virtual machine. Even though it's not going to work on this system, I'll just run through it like a dummy install, just so you get the idea. And then later on we'll move over onto my proper machine and I can go through it a little bit more in depth. Before we do that, you want to go to File, or you may want to, and Preferences. And depending on how much hard drive space you've got on your system, you may want to point this here to another location. If you start getting, 5 or 10 virtual machines like I have on my system, and they're each 20 or 30 gigabytes, you're going to quickly run out of hard drive space depending on the size of your drive. So you may want to put your virtual machines onto a larger drive. And that's really about the only housekeeping I think you're going to have to worry about there. So we'll go through the steps of setting up a new virtual machine. Now I don't have a Linux distro downloaded, so that's another thing you're going to have to do. You're going to have to go to linuxmint.com or to Ubuntu or one of the other Linux distros, or a Windows version such as Windows XP or Windows 7, Windows 10 and so on. I'm going to run through the steps of setting up a machine. It's not going to work here. We're just going to go through the steps. And I also don't have the .iso file to install. So as I say, we're just going to go through the steps just so you get the idea. So you click on New, and we'll start typing Linux, and you'll see it's changed from Windows in the center there to Linux. And if I type Mint, it'll down the bottom where it says version, you'll see that'll change as well. And I'm only getting 32-bit options on this virtual machine. But if you were to go back to my proper machine, you'd see lots more options, and hopefully you're getting those as well. So as I say, this is just a dummy, just to give you the idea. So normally in there I would pick Ubuntu 64-bit for a Linux Mint install, but this is a dummy, so we'll just hit next. You can give it more RAM than that if you want to. I normally do, but this is a dummy, so we'll just go next. And all these options, all the defaults are pretty good up till this point. Normally I'd give it more than 10 gigabytes, but we'll get to that later on. And then we hit create, and there's our virtual machine. Once I've created a virtual machine, I like to adjust the settings a little bit. So I right click on it and go to settings, and then I go to system and processor, and I normally give it 2 processor cores because I've got 4 CPUs on my system. And then I go to display and I crank the video up to 128 and enable 3D acceleration. Got an error there, but I don't get that on my main system. And then you go OK, and then you double click it. Now you can browse to your downloads or wherever you've downloaded Linux Mint or whatever system you might want to be running. So say in your downloads, you'd click on the system you want on the file and you'd hit open. Obviously I can't. And then you'd hit start. And at that point there, you'd start to see Linux Mint booting up. Obviously I've got an error here, but you get the idea. So if you were to follow along with that, you're probably looking at Linux Mint booting up into your first virtual machine at this point. I'll just quickly, while we're here, there is also, you can see in the bottom corner, bottom right hand corner, it says write control. This is called the host key. And there's an information there. The mouse is automatically captured within the virtual machine, and when you come out of the virtual machine, it goes back to the main system. And so that's just telling us that. Back to the host key. Once you're over the virtual machine, if you hold down the right control and press F on your keyboard, it goes to full screen. Although it's activated it didn't work there because I'm already in a virtual machine here, so we're a little bit confused. We'll cancel out of there, we'll close that. So hopefully at this point you've managed to install Virtualbox onto your system, create a virtual machine, and if you've gone to Linux Mint or Ubuntu or wherever and downloaded a .iso file of a Linux distro in this case, and you've set up the machine and browsed to that file, hopefully at this point in time you've actually got a virtual machine or your first virtual machine running on your system. We're going to go into more settings and whatever when we get back to my proper system later on. So we'll shut down out of there. We'll quit the virtual machine, and I'll see you on the next video.